Is this the hunter's axe from Bloodborne in real life? Yes and no. It's an axe that can go from small to big, so obviously really similar to the hunter's axe. The size isn't quite right, however they make these batons in about 26-inch lengths, which if you put an axe head on that would definitely put it in the realm of somewhere between a one-handed and a two-handed axe. Kind of a hand-and-half axe. So while the head of the actual hunter's axe would be too big and impractical, you could make something really similar in a feasible size. Now in terms of actually being an effective axe, well, it's effective enough to chop wood. At least a bit of wood. As somebody who has had about 6 years of experience with these same types of batons from working in military security, they're not the best. When they're brand new, they're pretty good, they can swing out and they can stay that way pretty well. But after being used, in training or even just carried around and not really maintained the best, they get pretty finicky. Sometimes they don't swing out well. Sometimes they swing out too easily. Sometimes they get stuck swinging out. Either way, they're not really reliable even as batons, let alone putting a large axe head on them. At least in the long term. While I don't think that this weapon would be really practical for hunting werewolves and amygdala and all those things, it would be a decent survival tool. It can be quite compact and give you enough axe to do a lot of decent things, if you're stuck in the wild. But it would be ideal if this axe head were able to come off and then be mounted on a more traditional shaft. Mounted on a shaft. So that way you have something that's good to use right away and easy to carry, and it can be modified to something long term. So in the end, in terms of getting a real life trick weapon, I don't think this is it. But, I've seen worse ideas.